headed out to do a little wintertime snorkeling. No, just kidding. We're actually out on DeGray Lake to explore the art of falconry. And actually, this is the first ever public falconry hunt in Arkansas. So, should be interesting. Leading our falconry outing to an island on DeGray Lake is falconer Rusty Scarborough.
As a group, these birds have learned to use us as part of their family unit. These birds, their two birds were raised in captivity. My bird was trapped from the wild in Tucson, Arizona. But they have accepted us as part of their family unit and hunt support team. So we as a group need to stay together.
After finally getting onto the island, we were introduced to 3 hawks that would be carrying out this falconry exercise.
I work for a nature park, and I have a little rule at my nature park that we don't name our animals that are on display because they're wild animals, and wild animals don't make good pets. In the falconry community, we name our birds so we know which bird we're talking about. So my bird's name is Padawan. She is a wild Harris hawk from Tucson, Arizona. Brenda has Sue, which is a captive bred Harris hawk from Louisiana. And Ron has Nemu, which is a captive bred Harris hawk from Georgia. So they usually cooperate together. While we are running, if the birds leave and go 200 yards away, the 3 of us are going to take off at top speed trying to get there. And you don't have to run with us. Just make your way in that direction. Should I let them work it or they need some help? Where?
Oh, he got it. He got it.
He's got to go to the water. He's got to be in here. There's water to the right.
You get a squirrel?
Let's push him back that way. Come to me and we'll push him into the water. Everybody else can stand right there. I didn't see him nest. I said 1 bird was out there and 2 birds were right here low in these vines, so that's when I thought he was up in here somewhere. Yeah, she was kind of out here on the margin, Sue was, and the other 2 were over there in that tree low. Well, that was a big gray squirrel.
Yeah.
He was every bit as big as that fox squirrel was. Falconry dates back to a hunting means that dates back about 3,000 years ago. It originates on the Asian plain. Pretty much over there we've been fighting Moors for the last 10 years. Pakistan, Afghanistan. There's some tapestries that date back to those dates showing men working with falcons. And depending on your definition of a firearm, we've only had firearms about 600 years. So falconry, trapping a wild bird of prey from the wild, training it to cooperate in the hunt and catch game, was a way of putting food on the table. Now, certainly in modern times, we have a lot more opportunity that is more successful, more efficient of putting food on the table. But for those of us that practice the sport, it's all about being out with a predator and seeing what they do. It's kind of a combination of my favorite things of bird watching and hiking and hunting and photography. So it's just a really good pastime, and fortunately I caught this bug when I was about 17 years old, and I've been doing it ever since.
Now, teaching a wild bird to do this is to me, it's phenomenal.
Well, actually, we're only teaching a bird to come to us if they don't catch game. They instinctively know how to hunt and know how to pursue game. We're just teaching them that if they don't catch anything, they come to us, or if we need to call them in, they come for a tidbit of meat that we carry in our pouches. So really the only thing we're teaching them is to associate with the hunter.
Oh, he had a duck. Big guy, he let him catch. He had a little duck.
Of course, seeing the art of falconry in action for the very first time leaves quite an impression on anybody.
How they could call them back and tell them when they see something that they can hunt.
Do you ever think that a hawk could be taught all that?
No.
Pretty impressive, huh?
Mm-hmm.
The other wintertime activity you can do here at DeGray Lake is going out to view our nation's symbol. This is an average-sized replica of an eagle's nest. Other nests have been known to be as big as 9.5 feet in diameter, 20 feet deep, and weighing as much as 2 tons. The Eagles Etc. event at DeGray Lake is usually held the last full weekend in January. Tours on pontoon boats go out twice a day in the morning and afternoon in search of the great American bald eagle. Chances are pretty good in spotting at least one on these outings, but if you don't, there's always a live one on display in the lodge for your photo op enjoyment. Situated about halfway between Harrison and Jasper, or approximately 3 miles north of the Buffalo National River, is Marble Falls. A pull-off overlook along Scenic Arkansas 7 Byway provides a great view of this waterfall, especially during the time of the year when there isn't any foliage blocking the view. Thus, you could, for all practical purposes, call this a drive-by waterfall. If the name Marble Falls sounds familiar to you, well, there's good reason. Marble Falls itself is actually on the property of the old Dogpatch USA theme park. And if you want to get any closer than the overlook from Highway 7 for any picture taking, you first must sign a waiver with the owner. Because Marble Falls is spring-fed, it has a year-round flow. At one time, it powered a flour mill, cotton gin, and a sawmill. The original grist mill was built around 1840. There is also the town of Marble Falls, or what's left of it, a couple of churches, and a post office. There is also this, the reason for the marble in the name Marble Falls. Across the highway from the overlook of the falls is this historic marker, acknowledging the use of Arkansas marble in the construction of the Washington Monument. Marble from this area was quarried in 1836. It juts out like some huge man-made masonry ruin some 90 feet or so above Board Camp Creek off Highway 375 near the small community of Dallas in Polk County. Behind me is one of the reasons why we go out and explore Arkansas. It's known simply as Standing Rock. Been here for eons, south of Mena and the Ouachita Forest. We figured it would be well worth our while to come here and try to find out a little bit more about it. In 1859 and 1860, a report about Standing Rock was published in the Geological Reconnaissance of the Middle and Southern Counties of Arkansas, along with an illustration.
These are beds in the Arkansas Novaculite, and you can see they're near about vertical, and we've got this one bed behind us that is making this prominent structure. The Novaculites, the same formation, this is same rock we find in Hot Springs.
Just a few yards away from Standing Rock are two other similar rock outcroppings, only a lot more deteriorated.
These, looking at these rocks, they extended across the creek here. Just due to erosion, they've been removed at the present time. Now, how these rocks got to this present shape, it was due to plate tectonics in the formation of the Ouachitas. When we had Lenoria and the North American plate collide, they wrinkled the rocks and to what we see today. In this part of the state, we have a lot of these ridges that run kind of in an east-west fashion and are very tightly folded. And we're in some of these tight folds today.
So approximately how many years ago are we talking about?
This formation is in the neighborhood of 360 plus million years old. The rocks were folded up, and we say that was about 300 to 290 million years ago.
Now in your field, I guess seeing something like this, it makes for the day, huh?
Yes, it does. This spectacular outcrop, things we like to see, get out into the outdoors and don't have to do administrative things.
I'm an Arkansas history teacher in school, and so I've been interested in this since I found out about it in August. In researching it, this was kind of the stopping off point from the eastern part of the county going into the Dallas, what used to be the county seat. So they would stop here and use the waters for picnicking and swimming and doing certain things, and then someone got the idea that it might be a good place to build something. So back over here they had built a small hotel, and then they were going to build some other things. They're going to put a post office here behind us, but when the Depression came, everything kind of went down. There was no more resources, and then eventually they moved Dallas, the county seat, to Mena because of the railroad. The railroad went through where it is now Mena, so everything gravitated toward Mena, and that's been the result. And this has been kind of lost to history. But a lot of people have come forward through the internet and through different social media explaining when they were here, when they were younger, and all kinds of stories been cropping up since then.
So what are your thoughts after seeing this formation?
It's amazing. I've been in the Ouachitas my whole life, and I've never seen anything this formation. It seems like it's going counterintuitive the way the rest of the mountain was formed. It's just amazing. And also I said it because it kind of looks like the state of Arkansas from the side. It's got a little bit of a eastern Arkansas curvature to it.
Standing Rock, perhaps one of the most instructive examples of tilted and altered strata or plate tectonics to be found in the United States. By taking the self-guided Mississippi River levee tour at Lake Chicot State Park, you can experience the history, wildlife, and culture of this area. Not to mention the fact that you'll be driving along the world's longest continuous levee. This Mississippi River levee tour begins and ends at Lake Chicot State Park. You can first pick up a levee tour brochure at the Visitor Center, which will act as your guide along the 30-mile route made up of gravel and paved roads. The levee tour brochure is set up to use your trip meter to coincide with the various points of interest described at each of the mile marker locations. It was the Great Flood of 1927 that forced construction of what is today indeed the longest continuous levee in the world, following along the south bank of the Arkansas River and the west bank of the Mississippi, a length of 640 miles, and it is possible to walk along this earthen wall from Pine Bluff all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. All of this is part of a levee system that starts near Cairo, Illinois, and includes stretches along several tributaries of the Mississippi. A 1,700-mile section of levee, longer than the Great Wall of China, exists along both the east and west banks of the river. The levee embankments average 25 feet in height and are as much as 40 feet high in some locations. Along this levee route, you'll find many so-called borrow pits, now filled with water. Material removed from them was used to build the levee. These pits are now great fishing holes and are excellent locations for observing ducks, egrets, herons, and other birds. Beaver lodges can also be seen in some pits. Deer, turkey, hawks, owls, songbirds, and other wildlife can also be seen from the high vantage point of the levee. Even a wild hog or two taking a snooze along the way. The best observation times are either early morning or just before sunset. Other than wildlife, there are many other points of interest along the levee tour, such as Heiner Cemetery, established in 1898. Malaria claimed the lives of many Italian immigrants who came to America and settled here in 1895. They worked on the nearby Sunnyside plantation and throughout the Delta. There's also Whiskey Chute. In the early 1800s, it connected Lake Chicot with the Mississippi River. It was named that when a boat loaded with whiskey burned and sank here. The land between Whiskey Chute and Lake Chicot is called Stewart Island, and during the early 1800s, it served as a camp for a band of river pirates. So, from the comfort of your vehicle, you can explore the levee that protects Lake Chicot, Arkansas's largest natural lake and the largest oxbow lake in America, from being reclaimed by the river that created it. And if you make your drive a few hours or so before sunset, a sunset is what you can enjoy at the end of your tour. So take a drive for yourself along the Mississippi River levee at Lake Chicot State Park, the longest continuous levee in the world. And for more on this destination, plus many of our others, or to order a copy of an episode, visit our website at aetn.org/exploringarkansas. And don't forget to like us on our Facebook fan page. And we'll see you again the next time for another exciting adventure on Exploring Arkansas.